hunger here at home. Millions of people across this country simply don't have enough to eat. Nearly everywhere, take a look. The areas in brightest red on this map are where the hunger crisis is most severe.
I want to talk today about hunger in America. I'm going through every disease and showing how every disease in America is skyrocketing rapidly. And the latest one I found is that hunger is actually spiking, is increasing in America. People are literally starving to death and malnourished all over America. So you can add that to the list. Along with autism, ADHD, breast cancer, you name it. But the interesting thing is, I already reported on the obesity epidemic that over 1 in 4 Americans are now obese, and that's a major health crisis. And this is the first generation of Americans in U.S. history that the lifespan of this generation will actually decrease for the first time in United States history. And so I reported on the obesity epidemic, and the interesting thing is that the talking point given by the news is to blame the victims of obesity, to say that it's their fault because they're too stupid and that they eat fast food and that they're idiots. And basically the whole talking point is always to blame the victim. Okay? The same thing with autism. They say that it's genetic, which implies that there's something flawed about the people who are coming down with the diseases. You know, you're flawed, your genetics are flawed, so you got this. Or you're obese, you eat junk food, you're flawed, there's something wrong with you. But what you don't see is you have to look at every disease and see how they correlate and interrelate with each other. And the interesting thing is there's a correlation between obesity and starvation. And what you see is that there's as obesity increases, malnutrition, hunger increases too, and it's in the same group. So the same demographics that are being hit by obesity are also being hit by hunger. So obesity is actually a symptom of malnutrition, of people not getting enough of the right foods, because the same groups that are disproportionately affected by obesity are also disproportionately affected by hunger. You can look at that, look at the charts on that. The same people who are obese, the same groups, and it's the poor people, and especially blacks and Latinos and poor whites. So there's a correlation between poverty. The poorer the people are, the fatter. I don't want to say, obese. It's a disease. It's not their fault. It's the food that they're being fed. It's making them have the disease of obesity, and that's what they don't tell you, because they want to hide the real cause, the real eugenics agenda. So the poor and blacks and Latinos and poor people are disproportionately affected by the obesity, and they're also disproportionately affected by hunger. They're the ones that are malnourished. So the same people who are malnourished are obese. Obesity is a symptom of being malnourished. That's why if you go shopping, you look at what the rich people buy, where they shop, where they eat, and then what the poor people go and eat, because they're only eating the food they can afford, which is the eugenics food that's designed to reduce their populations with all the food additives. That's why the rich know this. That's why they are able to spend more for better food. And they avoid the food that they feed to the other people who they want to exterminate. And then they blame them when they get sick. They say that it's because they're stupid. And so they quietly dodge the problem and just let the poor people die. Because that's eugenics. That's what eugenics is. So obesity and malnutrition are linked. They're one and the same problem. The same people who are suffering from obesity are also suffering from malnutrition, and you're not told that. And the rich people, you would think it's counterintuitive, right? See how easily scammed you are? It's counterintuitive that you think, well, how can people be gaining weight and starving at the same time? But anybody who knows anything about nutrition, the rich white people who are doing this eugenics, they know it. They just hide it from everybody who are the victims of their eugenics. Why would the rich whites are the most healthy people? Because they avoid the food that they're giving to the poor. They know what foods to eat. When they go to the store, they pay more because they can't afford it. They pay more for the good foods. They let everybody else eat the crappy foods that they would never eat.